So we are having a terrible night. We had to take a crazy road to get into this new campsite, which was not really meant for Class A's. But we finally got here, calmed down, and set up everything, but then we're told that we had to move for no reason. So we had to repack everything back up, and when we tried to bring the slide in to move, the slide doesn't move. It's stuck. It doesn't go in, it doesn't go out, and we don't know how to fix it. Well, that's not entirely true. After a lot of research and troubleshooting, we do know how to fix it. And it's actually something pretty easy that you can do yourself, as long as you have a few tools, a couple of hours, a cheap replacement part, and the courage to try it yourself. Our 2007 Vista has a slide from DigiSync Kwikee made by Power Gear. What happened to us is actually a pretty common problem, and the culprit is a $15 plastic Acme nut. It often breaks off, leaving your slide inoperable. If you are having any of the following issues, it could be the Acme nut that's the problem. Does one side of your slide not move in or out? In our case, it was the front side. The slide arm would not go in or out no matter what we did. Can you verify that both motors and actuators are running? That's actually a good thing, because if one of these weren't, it would be a much more expensive fix. Have you tried to reset the DigiSync system inside and you're still having an issue? And finally, when you manually try to crank in the slide, is the one side still giving you a problem? In this video, we are going to be taking you step by step on how we fix the slide issue. But we will also be leaving a link in the description of this video to our website, which will have a step-by-step tutorial, part numbers, and related blog posts. Thank you to Power Gear Support for helping us out and leading us in the right direction.
Okay, so first last step is to remove the cover that exposes the slide. In our case, it's the star bit, and it just has 4 screws. So Ashley's inside now, going to push it out a foot while I pull on it to move the slide out. So that didn't really work out when we tried to use the button to move the slide. So we used the crank instead, and that still didn't work. So we just moved to step 2 with the slide still in. Okay, so step 2 in the instructions is to remove this bolt. In our case, 9/16. Next step is to remove the 4 1/4 bolts securing the actuator from the inner tube. We used a drill to make this process a lot faster. Okay, so the next step is to remove the cables. You got to make sure you know which cable goes to where. So I put zip ties on the 2 similar ends, and then the other one that has no similar ends. And so Ashley is pulling out the other plug. Great. All right, so once you pull the motor out, there is a cotter pin holding the motor to the shaft. Simply remove the pin, and then they should separate after you move the nail. But inside is the Acme screw. It was currently sitting on top of the cotter pin, preventing us from releasing it. So what we did was we held the Acme screw in place as Ashley spun it from the outside, and it pulled it off of the cotter pin. So now we just gotta remove the cotter pin. All right, so we are working on removing both covers. This side is off, as you can see, or not see. Let me get some light. There. So this side is off. Ashley's working on the other side. we don't have a good tool to remove the rivet, so we're just using leverage and 2 screwdrivers and prying it open. Hopefully we don't break too many of them. We broke one so far on each side.
So we have the motor off and these covers off, and so it's hard to see, but we needed to make these 2 little bobby pin things visible, and now we have to pop them off before we try and get this guy out. So as you can see, there's all these broken pieces that I'm pulling out from the bottom of this compartment, which hopefully explains why we can't open the slide.
We got the screw out, and you can see from here that Acme nut is absolutely shredded. This is the old one, this is the new one. And you can see where the pin's supposed to be going. It's not even existing on this old one. You can even see the pins on this side. You can see how damaged they are, and so good thing I ordered those pins as well. These are the new holes that you need to drill out, one here and one down there, and you gotta drill out the other side as well in order to fit the 5/16 pins.
At this point, you can start reinstallation. So apply some grease on the threads of the new nut and thread it onto the Acme screw.
So now we put the nut on, now we slide the screw back in, making sure that these tabs here are pushed in so it slides in nicely.
Now you'll reattach the room mount to the inner tube assembly. Reinstall both of the hairpins and clevis pins, which secure the Acme nut in the inner tube. Install the clevis pin and cotter pin into the screw, securing it to the actuator drive. Now replace the motor seal covers on the sides of the outer tube. Since we broke a couple of these rivets, after we put them back, we had to further secure it with some gaffer's tape. Bring the inner tube back out, aligning the mounting bolt hole with the holes in the room mount, and install room mount bolts. Using the 4 bolts, secure the actuator to the outer tube and attach the wiring from the actuator to the harness. Now, let's see if this works. Inside, depress the service button on the touchpad until the lights flash. Then, using the buttons, bring the room in all the way. Wait about a minute while crossing your fingers and see if we really fixed it.
Overall, Sidetrackers, we're really happy that this is fixed. We were really stressed when it happened, stressed during the fix, but now we're happy.
And luckily, it's a relatively easy and cheap thing to fix. But we know there's not much information online about it, so if you have any questions, we're happy to help. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll see you on our next adventure.